You took everything I love, Jonah Hex. You know what that feels like? It feels like harmless phosphorescence. Hello, everyone. This is Throw Smiley, and the president thinks I'm special. Who is joining me this week?
Hi, I'm Josh Cece, and as you know, my unit is the very best.
I'm a very uneducated man. My name is Brian Lesh.
I'm Alaric Weber, and my horse has Gatling guns.
I got some questions there.
Yeah, for sure. And this is Harmless Phosphorescence. It's the podcast where we watch every theatrically released live-action, full-length superhero movie ever made. We gather some research into the production and the source material, then we tell you all about it. This show is brought to you by patrons. Our patrons, like executive producers Michael Beckwith and Atticus Burkett, and our brand new patron, Jeremy. Thanks, buddy. Yeah. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Jay.
Thanks.
You can be a patron too. Just head over to patreon.com/harmlessentertainment. We got tons of bonus content there. We've got a Star Wars miniseries, holiday shows, a personal history of sound. If you're a patron, you can just call Brian really at any time.
I was just going to say
the lines are open.
He'll sponsor you.
Yeah. For a penny a day, Brian will talk to you on the phone.
If I get enough pennies, I'll have some pennies.
Then watch out.
Yes.
Better watch your back.
Like a battery or something.
Watch out. Don't cry. Brian's listening.
I'm always listening.
This week, however, on Harmless Phosphorescence, we are watching Jonah Hex.
Don't do this, Turnbull, please.
Daddy!
Don't do this now! This mark will remind you of the man who took everything you had. After that night, some say he was a changed man. That his spirit crossed over, giving him powers that can't be explained.
Jonah Hex.
Coffins. Thinking you might need aid.
Cut him down!
Jonah Hex.
You don't look so tough.
Hey, Hex. What happened to your face?
Cut myself shaving. What happened to yours?
Always do like when you finally show up.
Jeez, woman, how many men you see in a day?
Quentin Turnbull.
Don't you dare say that name to me.
Quentin Turnbull surfaced about a month ago.
We want Turnbull dead.
Why don't you just say that to begin with? Anything new, Smith?
Thought you'd never ask. I take it that means you approve. This is the future.
Future's bright. Can you shoot?
Can you?
This war begins right here!
I own you now.
It ain't much for being owned.
Turnbull!
We ain't near settled our score.
What's it like to go through life with a face like that?
Let me show you. Still got that knife in your garter?
They took it.
Still got that Derringer in your bustle?
They took it all, Jonah.
Well, searched you for darn good, didn't they?
Wouldn't you?
She's a little full of herself, isn't she?
Yeah.
Jonah Hex.
Not only are his powers hard to explain, they don't even try.
No, they do not. This movie. All right.
I liked Josh Brolin, and I liked his performance. If he was just in a regular old Western, and there were no powers or anything like that, I don't know, would have been kind of badass.
Oh, sure.
If this had actually felt like a Western, it would have been a much better movie.
Yeah.
I will make that point many times throughout my TED Talk.
There's many things that could have made this a better movie.
Well, certainly, but
Okay, so Jonah Hex was released June 18th, 2010, rated PG-13, a running time of 10 million minutes.
Dude, this is like the shortest movie we've done in a long time. I was grateful for it.
I thought it went down easy, yeah.
It was 81 minutes long. It felt like 3 hours to me. Like, it was painful.
I checked the time at the halfway point and I just went, thank God we're halfway there.
It cost $47 million and it took in $11 million.
Beautiful.
Woo! It was a flop.
There were some great people in it, though.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying they had much to work with, but some of my favorite actors were in there.
Yeah.
A good cast. Nothing else was good, though, including the production, which we'll get to that in a few minutes. But, guys, I was wondering if you were interested in playing the box office top 10 game.
I live for this moment.
Not this week.
Okay. Al
I'll
says
consider it out.
Sorry,
I'll take all
everybody.
of Al's points.
Yeah. Al, you lose all of the points you ever had now.
Sweet. Can I have them?
Sure.
I've already spent them.
On hookers and cheap booze.
Camel merchandise. We've said about
So this is the box office top 10 game. It's the game where we look at the week of June 18th, 2010, and we count down the top 10 movies of the week. I describe them based on the Box Office Mojo description, and the guys try to guess what that movie is. They're also going to guess where Jonah Hex opened. Let's go ahead and start with Josh. Josh, where do you think Jonah Hex opened in the top 10 this
How much did it bring in?
$11 million.
Oh, shit. Okay, 7.
Josh goes for number 7. Brian, what do you think?
Number 4.
Brian says it opened at number 4. And Al, Mr. Alaric Weber, what is your bid?
I was shooting at 5.
All right, Al splits.
I didn't hit 5. I missed.
Oh, what'd you hit?
5.3.
You need one of those.
Gatling gun.
I was going to say, or a crossbow that shoots dynamite.
Dynamite crossbow. Quite possibly the best part of this whole movie.
Dynamite.
So Al is guessing number 5. Here we go. We're counting them down. This is the box office top 10. Coming in at number 10 this week, a suburban family moves to a new neighborhood with their large yet lovable Great Dane, who has a tendency to wreak havoc in his own oblivious way.
Marmaduke.
Yeah.
Yes, it is Marmaduke.
It is?
Yeah.
Normally that would be a joke answer, but it's clearly Marmaduke.
I didn't hear it.
It was either going to be Marmaduke or Clifford. I mean,
Clifford's a Labrador, though, right?
Oh, that's
A red
right.
Labrador.
That's
Yeah.
right. He is a lab. He's not a Great
lab.
Dane. Yeah.
A red lab. A bright red lab.
Woo. So Brian gets a big red point,
Yes.
which is not what Marmaduke is, but that's all right.
Is that
he's
Marmaduke's
orange.
Red Rocket?
Clifford is the big red. Yeah, Marmaduke. He's normal colored, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but I think he has a big red.
One
Oh,
single
no.
big red part of his body.
No. Oh, no.
I have excited Marmaduke.
The lipstick's coming out, guys. All right.
What, Al?
I don't know.
I keep misreading your face. I'll stop.
You're just ashamed to be on the air with us.
Coming in at number 9 this week. With the world aware of his identity as a superhero, a billionaire must contend with both his declining health and a vengeful madman with ties to his father's legacy.
Metal Man.
Metal Man.
Yes, metal.
You mean Glenn Danzig?
Metal.
Oh, shut the fuck up, Glenn Danzig.
Right.
Please.
Stand on a stool and tell me it.
Yeah. Who's that guy who punched him in the face? Can we hire him to just follow him around and keep punching him in the face? Anyways, I have all kinds of opinions about Danzig.
Same.
We all get 2 points for Iron Man 2. Coming in at number 8 this week, a vacationing woman meets her ideal man, leading to a swift marriage. Back at home, however, their idyllic life is upset when they discover their neighbors could be assassins who have been contracted to kill the couple.
What in the shit?
Starring Katherine Heigl and Ashton Kutcher.
Oh my god. I did not see this.
This moment is the first I am becoming aware of this movie existing.
Is it the remake they did of Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? Ashton Kutcher was in that with Bernie Mac.
Was he? Oh no. Okay, it's not that. I didn't know that was real. You didn't know.
Yeah, but it was a white guy coming to dinner.
Oh, okay. No, this has a one-word title. Give me a word, guys.
Neighbors.
Ooh, close, but no.
Blart.
No. Ow.
Let's turn that into a word.
Blart. It's like Smurf. I'm going to blart the blart out of him.
Excuse me, I blarted.
Yes.
Guess who's coming to blart?
Blarting is in number 3.
Guess who's blarting to dinner? Al, what's the word you're guessing?
I was gonna say hit, but that's not. We're close to Neighbors.
Yeah, but they're spies, so hit is a pretty good guess.
It's called Killers.
No,
that is the
you were
name.
probably closer than I was, Al.
Well, with Katherine Heigl and Ashton Kutcher, I hope the Killers succeeded.
Yeah. Coming in at number 7 this week. The U.S. military makes a scarred bounty hunter with warrants on his own head an offer he can't refuse. In exchange for his freedom, he must stop a terrorist who is ready to unleash hell on Earth.
What did he win?
Josh hits the bullseye.
Josh won the box
Jonah
office top
Hex.
10 game. This is the first winner we've had in like 6 months.
Yeah, I don't know.
Woo! Josh gets
No, I won.
7
Does he
points.
get a brand?
Yeah, you
get a brand?
you get, but instead of QT, it's going to say Circle K.
No, I wanted to just say TM so that I'm trademarked all the time. Everything I say or do.
I think you'd want like the copyright sign on your face for CC.
Would make for a good brand.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I like that better.
Time to get a face tat, Josh.
Can I get it next to my Germs Burn, or does it have to go over a previous brand?
All right.
Good to win.
Yeah.
What do I get for that? An old-timey steam engine?
Yeah. You get a giant mechanical spider, which actually wasn't in this movie.
I kept expecting it.
I thought of Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
Oh,
where's Kenneth Branagh when you need him, man?
Oh, God.
He's around.
Speaking of Kenneth Branagh, another terrible movie Jude made me watch was the Artemis Fowl Disney movie, which was written and directed by Kenneth Branagh. And it was so terrible.
He made a Thor movie, right? Or
He made Thor, the first Thor,
he
yeah.
made Thor? Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, we'll get there.
Yeah.
Well, in fact, it's his
That guy
voice
loves gourds.
in Infinity War. It's his voice that we first hear in the movie, actually, where he's like,
The distress signal.
"We're an Asgardian ship. We've been pretty sure."
Wow.
Yeah, it is Kenneth Branagh.
Interesting.
It's the best thing he's done in the Marvel Universe.
Yeah. Or in the Artemis Fowl universe. That movie was mind-bogglingly terrible. Just anyone who is interested in watching the Artemis Fowl movie. Coming in at number 6 this week, a young fugitive, Prince. And Princess. I paused so weirdly. A young fugitive prince and princess must stop a villain who unknowingly threatens to destroy the world with a special dagger that enables magic sand.
He has to stab everyone on the planet.
Harrison Ford in Purple Rain 2.
The Fugitive.
This stars Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, it's Prince of Persia.
Prince of Persia.
Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time.
Yeah, I played this video game, and I'm pretty sure that Jake Gyllenhaal is not Persian.
No, he is not.
Suspicion.
He was a weird casting for this.
Yeah,
Lots
he
of
was.
eyeliner was required.
Oh, God, yeah. We also got Ben Kingsley in it. But he's in everything that's vaguely like Middle Eastern Asiatic.
Yeah. And he's a damn fine actor. I'm not going to argue that. But it is sort of that Anna Paquin type vibe. Like he did his biggest and best cinematic tour de force with Gandhi.
Well, yeah.
And then it's just been like, is he a great actor? He's in a lot of these shitty movies.
Yeah.
He'll just pop up
He's in a lot of terrible movies, and also like, I mean, I guess it was the early '80s, but still, like a British dude playing Gandhi.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
The irony.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, they colonized it again.
Yeah, exactly. Twice.
Not as bad as when they had that Dutch guy playing Nelson Mandela.
Ooh.
Ooh. That's a Mandela effect.
Coming in at number 5. How do I? Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. A villain tricks a midlife crisis-burdened hero into allowing himself to be erased from existence, and he casts a dark alternate timeline where the villain rules supreme.
Oh, It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, Mr. Potter takes over. Yeah, that's true.
Potterville, man.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Wow. Wow. Mind blown. But no. Any other guesses? The stars? Well, okay, so we've got Cameron Diaz, we've got Eddie Murphy, we've got Mike Myers.
Oh, Shrek. One of the Shreks. Still Shrekin. Shrekin ain't easy.
Shrek Forever After.
All right.
What number is that?
I have no idea.
Oh,
These
they
movies
printed money.
they make. Yeah.
Oh, man. People love the Shrek shit.
He's a sexual icon.
I do.
Yeah. Let's not forget that the donkey and the dragon procreated in those movies.
I have those videos.
And I'm just the sheer logistics of that working is insane.
Well, and what's even more interesting, Mike Myers and Eddie Murphy were never in the same room once for any Shrek movie.
Like Superman and Clark Kent.
Yeah, just like that.
You guys know that Chris Farley was slated to play Shrek, right? We should do a Shrek episode at some point.
He recorded
Yeah.
the entire thing, and then they just redid it when he died.
Yeah. Well, because he had died before it had hit like visual production and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. I think the animation wasn't quite there yet.
Yeah, it hadn't been animated at all, but he recorded his tracks, so it exists. You can see the animatics on YouTube.
They were probably going to do a Robin Williams type thing. You know, you record all the dialogue, we'll animate your dialogue.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's what they did with, I call him Austin Powers, Mike Myers.
Yeah.
That's what they did with Ronald Reagan.
Nancy stuck her hand up the back of his jacket and just
hell yes, worked him like a puppet.
Coming in at number 4 this week, a record company intern is hired to accompany an out-of-control British rock star to a concert in L.A.
Oh, I like this movie. Get him to the Greek.
Yep, Get Him to the Greek. The sequel to Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yeah, an unofficial sequel. They don't mention his counterpart in Hawaii, but they totally should have at least had one line where Jonah Hill's like, I have a cousin who lives in Hawaii, and he's a stupid Infant Starro fan kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's a funny movie. Puff Daddy's pretty funny.
I've never seen this.
That's the first time anyone's ever said that.
I know. He's great.
No, Get Him to the Greek is a fun movie. You should definitely watch it. Coming in at number 3 this week. Wow. Okay. I've never seen this, but a group of Iraq war veterans look to clear their name with the U.S. military, who suspect the 4 men of committing a crime for which they were framed.
3 Kings? No,
that was
4 Men.
Is it Green Zone?
No, this does
sounds like the A-Team, but
yeah.
Al?
Is it the A-Team?
It is the A-Team. Liam Neeson.
That's right.
The dude from what's his face from Hangover, and 2 other guys.
The wrestler or MMA guy. This is one of the first like big MMA
Bautista.
stars.
Yeah. And who was BA? Was that Ving Rhames?
No.
BA Baraka?
Wasn't Bautista played the BA role?
Oh.
Wow. Was it Batista?
Was it
I didn't see
Batista?
this. I didn't see the movie.
Neither did I. So I'm just guessing from this tiny little thing. Let's see. The A-Team. We have. Well, yeah, Mr. T did a cameo in it, apparently. Oh, Quentin Jackson.
Quentin Jackson. That's what it
Okay.
is.
Yeah.
Why did I think Dave
Right.
Bautista was in this?
Yeah, Rampage. That's who it is. Rampage.
Okay. Let's see. We got Bradley Cooper, Liam Neeson, and Charlton Copley as Murdoch. I don't know who.
Oh yeah, the guy from all the District 9. That guy.
Oh.
He's in all those movies. Yeah, Chappie and all that stuff. He does the mocap.
You guys never watched this? It was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw this. This is great.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, this is funny too. Okay, wow. What the fuck? Okay, coming in at number 2. Work causes a single mother to move to China with her young son. In his new home, the boy embraces kung fu taught to him by a master.
Oh, this is Will Smith's kid.
Yes, you're right. Brian, say it. What? They had the
Karate
same
Kid.
name.
Yeah.
Yep.
Karate Kid,
Karate
yeah.
Kid.
That's crazy that the same week there was the Karate Kid in the A-Team.
Yeah.
So, wow. Okay. And, oh, wow. Opening this week at number 1. Some toys are mistakenly delivered to a daycare center instead of the attic right before their owner leaves for college.
I'm already crying.
I
I
know.
love those movies.
This
It's 3.
This is
Yeah.
this is this one I definitely saw in the theater with little 3-year-old Jude, little 9-year-old Rain. Yeah.
I saw this with a group of grown-ass men, and there was not a dry eye in the line of us.
Yeah.
That goddamn
totally.
incinerator scene.
Dude, for real.
Pixar, fuck you.
Just Pixar. Yeah. They took
was
that
that-
Disney formula to the nth.
Was that Rip Torn as the pink bear? Who was the
Yes.
pink bear? Yeah.
I believe it was Rip Torn. Yeah.
Was it Rip
Or Ed
Torn?
Asner.
No,
Was
as
it
the
Ed
bear?
Asner?
No, it was
And who was Ed Asner? He was in it. Or in one of them.
Ned Beatty. Ned Beatty.
Ned Beatty. Squeal like a pig.
Yep. So yeah, that's it. That's number 1. That is the box office top 10 for the week. That does in fact bring us to the character comic background. Al, tell us some stuff.
I got some stuff to tell. More than I expected. But we'll try and zip through this. Most of this is like early history. But Jonah Hex is a DC Comics anti-hero created by writer John Albano and artist Tony DeZuniga. Debuted in All-Star Western number 10, February and March 1972.
Okay.
The series, All-Star Western, was retitled Weird Western Tales 2 issues later, with Jonah Hex headlining until 1977 when the character received a self-titled series.
When he retired in 1977 to a little farm. Yeah.
Actually, he retired in 1904. But I think I read that. Anyway, Jonah Woodson Hex was born in 1838 in Northwest Missouri. He was regularly abused by his alcoholic father, who sold Jonah as a slave to an Apache tribe at age 13.
Yeah, I was going to say, in the 1800s, is it child abuse? Were they aware of that concept?
Yeah, it's not child abuse. It's just living.
It's just living. It's just getting through the day.
Jonah was adopted by the tribe's chief after he saved the chief from a puma.
Wearing his Adidas.
Jonah was betrayed by his adoptive brother, No Tante, during their rite of manhood at age 16 and presumed dead by the tribe. Hex returned to American civilization, becoming a cavalry scout for the U.S. Army. When the Civil War began in 1861, Hex felt the South was justified in seeking independence and joined the Confederate Army as a cavalry lieutenant. Hex became increasingly torn as time passed, having become close with his fellow soldiers, but unwilling to fight for the preservation of slavery, having once been a slave himself. Should have thought of that a year ago.
Right. Do you think we're the baddies?
Right, exactly. I just like their
Hex.
infrastructure plan. Those Confederates.
It's all about taxes for me.
States' rights or something. I don't know.
Something.
I'm just for small government.
Yeah, that's it. But I'm against
Jonah
slavery.
Hex surrendered himself to the Union Army after learning of the Emancipation Proclamation in 1862. He refused to reveal the whereabouts of his comrades, but the Army was able to determine the location of his unit and take them prisoner. Hex found a secret tunnel and helped the prisoners escape, but that turned out to be a trap engineered by the Union commander. They had run out of food to feed the prisoners, so allowed them to escape and gunned them down as they fled. Nearly all the fleeing Confederates were killed, including Jonah's best friend, Jeb Turnbull, in what became known as the Fort Charlotte Massacre. A handful of survivors, believing Hex had betrayed them, returned home and told everyone that he was a murderer and a traitor. Now hunted by both sides, Hex moved to the Western Territories to start over. Jonah came to find his old tribe and revealed the betrayal of his brother, No Tante, to the chieftain. Accusations denied, it was decided the dispute would be settled by combat by tomahawk.
Oh, shit.
No Tante sabotaged Jonah's tomahawk so it would break, forcing Jonah to stab him with a knife. Enraged that Jonah had killed his son and broken the rules of combat, the chieftain had him disfigured with the mark of the demon, scarring half his face with a heated tomahawk, and Hex was banished from the tribe.
Okay.
Jonah took to drinking, and one day...
Don't we all?
Give him the 1800s.
Yeah.
Look at the decision he made.
One day he shot dead a man beating his wife outside a saloon, drunkenly mistaking the man for his own father. The dead man turned out to have a bounty on his head. Intrigued by the idea that he could make money killing bad men, Jonah took up bounty hunting.
Wait. I can murder and get paid.
It's time to go pro-am.
My biggest gripe with modern society is that there aren't Western territories to start over in anymore.
I thought you were going to say duels.
Well, I mean, there's that.
Combat by tomahawk.
I mean, I still do combat by tomahawk, but for some reason I have so few takers.
I'd watch that over a football game.
Jonah Hex possesses no superhuman abilities.
You do say.
The ability to speak to the dead was only ever seen in this film.
And not just speak to them, revive them.
Revive them.
Yeah.
And speak to them.
Big
yeah.
Unanswered question there.
So let's see. His skills do include being an outstanding marksman and a resourceful combatant, adept at employing improvisational weaponry. He's an exceptional tracker and a resilient fighter, often fighting through severe injury. While his skills are sometimes viewed by others as supernatural, they are all acquired through talent and training. Hex has a reputation as a ruthless and prolific killer, but he is bound by a personal code of honor to protect and avenge the innocent, especially women and children.
All right.
Hex's exploits were not limited to the 19th century. He was summoned to fight for the Monitor in the Crisis on Infinite Earths, and later spent some time in the post-apocalyptic 21st century.
I feel like I've seen Jonah Hex and Constantine do some shit, but maybe that's just my brain.
Maybe.
You know, I feel the phrase post-apocalyptic 21st century is an oxymoron.
Yeah.
In other media, the character has made appearances in several animated shows, including Batman the Animated Series and Justice League Unlimited.
And the Care Bears.
There was a 2010 animated short, DC Showcase, Jonah Hex, where he was voiced by Thomas Jane.
Who's in this?
What?
Is
Where's
he?
Thomas Jane?
I can't remember what part he is, but I went through the whole cast because I thought Jeb was Jeffrey Dean Morgan, which he was.
He was, yeah.
But he was way down at the end of the cast list. And
I missed that.
Curious. Jonah Hex has also been in 3 episodes of Legends of Tomorrow and appeared in the Arrowverse's Crisis on Infinite Earths.
And he won season 3 of The Voice.
The Masked Singer. Yeah.
His golden throat.
He sings through the side of his mouth.
Quentin Turnbull was also in the comics. He was one of the first and most notable recurring adversaries of Jonah Hex. The father of Jonah's friend Jeb Turnbull. He swore to avenge his son for what he believed to be Hex's treachery at the Fort Charlotte massacre. Not a ton more to say about him. And Tallulah Black was a character introduced in 2007. As a young woman, she was savagely raped and mutilated by a group of men who killed her family. Hex saved her and helped her gain vengeance. Tallulah would go on to become a bounty hunter herself and eventually Hex's lover.
Woo!
It took till 2007 to give him like a love interest or female counterpart.
Yeah, no, they were like, "Hey, should we have a girl in this comic series?"
It's like, I think people who like westerns like dudes.
Lots of dudes. What if we just put more holes in the dudes, like in their cheeks and stuff? Would that take the place of having a girl?
And I'd like to know, did any non-prostitutes have sex in these towns?
Not in the 1800s.
No, they didn't. Or they did. But yeah.
But, well, I mean, you could count the number of times by the amount of children.
It's true.
So, all right. Is that... I'm sorry, I'm just listening to the kitty. Is that it?
Yeah. I guess Abaddon has more to say, but no, that's all I got.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Weber. That brings us to the film production itself. Jonah Hex was written by Neville Dean and Taylor.
Yeah, weird one, little nicknames. I don't know.
Well, it's their last names. Neville Dean, Mark Neville Dean and Brian Taylor. So they work as a team exclusively. It's like
No, I understand, but anyways.
Yeah.
Felt like a McG type thing.
It's like Goofus and Gallant. So Neville Dean and Taylor.
I understand the concept of 2 people.
I just don't get to make any highlights reference very often. So they also wrote Crank High Voltage, and the upcoming Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance, which we'll be getting to not just a few weeks away, guys. So
they didn't write Christmas with the Cranks,
which was my favorite of the Crank series. There's also a story by credit to a writer named William Farmer, who was mostly a TV writer. He did some off Broadway play work too. So apparently the story is that he wrote a treatment for Jonah Hex around 2000-ish. And he had nothing whatsoever to do with this film, but the treatment he wrote had enough of the same general concepts in it that they had to give him a writing credit on it. The Writers Guild of America insisted he get a credit. Reportedly, William Farmer petitioned to have his name not put on and lost because he was so not taken with the script that Neville Dean and Taylor wrote.
I'm taking my name off this thing. No, you can't.
Yeah, the Writers Guild of America said you have to have it on there. It was directed by Jimmy Hayward, who he was mostly an animator for Pixar, not a writer or a producer. He was just an animator for throughout the 90s, Toy Story, Bugs Life, Monsters, Inc., Finding Nemo. He has a writing credit on Freebirds, which is that that Owen Wilson, Woody Harrelson movie where they're turkeys. Wow. He directed Freebirds, as well as Dr. Seuss's Horton Hears a Who. This is his one and only live action film. The music, Mark Beltrami was the composer. He's works a lot. We've heard his name quite often. He's done Hellboy, a number of other things, but he had help on this by the group Mastodon.
Oh,
yeah.
I like them.
Yeah, they're all right. The cast includes Josh Brolin as Jonah Hex.
Let me stop real quick. It's not surprising to you three, I'm sure, but no, I guess Tom Jane was not in that. I don't know what I was looking at, but yeah. So
I see.
He did want the role, and he did some makeup photography tests.
He made a mini Jonah Hex film.
Well, and
which is totally a Thomas Jane thing to do, like we saw with the Punisher fan-made film.
Mm-hmm. Well, and apparently he voiced Jonah Hex in an animated show.
Oh, yeah. Maybe I was looking at that at first. My wife and her brother were in Young Riders with Josh Brolin.
Nice.
Just one episode, but yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Did they
Were
win?
you perhaps thinking of Tom Wopat?
No, I know who Tom. I was so excited to see him, and I knew right away. I might have been looking at the cartoon first.
All right, so Brolin, of course, got his start in. Well, so he's the son of James Brolin, a famed Hollywood actor. His stepmom's Barbara Streisand. His real, I don't know, who is his real mother. I don't think his real mother is like famous. Yeah, it doesn't matter. But he, of course, the very first thing that I saw him in was Goonies. I think that might have been his first film.
Yeah.
Of course, he was in The Young Riders, like you said, co-starring with Andrea. He was in.
Yeah, she got second billing.
Yeah. He played W in W. He was in No Country for Old Men, True Grit, Inherent Vice, Men in Black 3. We will see him as Thanos.
And Cable.
And Cable in Deadpool 2, yeah.
That's true, yeah. I like him. I think he's talented.
Yeah, I think he's good.
He's fun.
Yeah, he's fun.
He is. We got Johnny Malkovich as Quentin Turnbull. Wow, was he sleepwalking his way through this movie?
Yeah. John Malkovich as John Malkovich.
Yeah. Like he showed up and
Malkovich.
Yeah. He showed up and was like, all right, you can give me hair extensions or I can act, but not both.
I will only do the accent 15% of the time.
Yes. The other time I'll do a Malkovich accent.
Right, totally. Does anybody remember from SNL where he read The Night Before Christmas?
No.
It's terrifying and hilarious.
I bet.
Because there are real children at his feet. He goes on these existential rants.
I just watched Death of a Salesman with him and Dustin Hoffman for a class that I'm taking. And oh my God, he is incredible in that role. It was really interesting seeing him do that. And then watch this and just be like, oh God. And I just watched Being John Malkovich like a week before that too. So my brain is full of every end of the possible John Malkovich spectrum.
You have to find it on YouTube because it's never released. But Sam Shepard's play True West with Malkovich and Sinise. It's just two brothers seeing each other after their father died, seeing each other for the first time. But oh man, it's just fantastic. I've wanted to put on a production of True West. Like
he's an incredible actor, and that Death of a Salesman just like really showed his ability to express emotion. I guess I don't know. That's acting.
Well, yeah.
Al, what was your favorite line from True West? Do you remember?
No.
Those are the most monotonous fucking crickets I've ever heard. John Malkovich screamed that.
Oh, I love it. Well, he got his start in Steppenwolf. He was part of the same class as Gary Sinise and Joan Allen, actually.
And Laurie Metcalf from Roseanne and such.
Which is funny because Joan Allen. I just watched Face Off for a monthly movie coming soon. For patrons, $1 a month is all you need to be a patron and watch our monthly movie. This month is going to be Face Off. But so I had to show Jude and I watched Face Off. He was amazed by Face Off, but then I had to show him the trailers for the other two in the Nicolas Cage action 90s action trilogy, The Rock and Con Air with Malkovich.
Yeah.
Con Air is a good movie, man. Woo. Well, it's not a good movie, but you know what I mean.
It's not a good movie, but it is a
movie.
I don't watch it ironically, but yeah.
It is a Michael Bay movie starring Nicolas Cage and John Malkovich. So that is what Steve it is. Yeah. So Megan Fox as Lila Black. She made her acting debut in Holiday in the Sun, 2001. She was in the ABC sitcom Hope and Faith for a couple years. Then she was in Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen. The first thing I saw her in, and her big breakout role, was Transformers in 2007. Jennifer's Body is actually pretty good.
I was thinking about watching that after seeing her in this, because that's supposed to be a cult classic, and I just haven't seen it.
It's actually really good. I don't think she's great in this, but she was pretty good in Jennifer's Body.
Yeah. I read a quote from her. I think it was just on IMDb when I was poking through watching the movie. This is, she says, her worst movie she's ever made.
Wow.
It was bad. You know what was weird was, did you guys notice that a lot of scenes that were just her, she looked weirdly airbrushed. I mean, digitally smoothed out, like to a strange degree.
Like it was a Maxim magazine.
Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah. Good way to put it.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Shiny. In places that human beings don't sweat.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And there's not a lot of overhead lighting.
Yeah.
But still it looks like there's.
Yeah.
And I love it. Obviously, leading lady has to be attractive. I suppose that's the formula. But it's always so funny in Westerns. All the other prostitutes almost look like they're from the 1800s. They cast them that way. And then there's always one who clearly has more modern genetics and is gorgeous. And it's just so funny.
It doesn't look like they're cut from shoe leather.
Right. Exactly. That woman would have been kidnapped and stolen. like the dude tries to. Yeah.
So she was married to Brian Austin Green from.
Oh, I thought they still were.
Are they still? Okay, yeah, they are still. So yeah, she's married. No. They broke up.
Sad.
They in November 2020 they filed for divorce because she was seen with Machine Gun Kelly. Romantically involved with Machine Gun Kelly. But,
wow.
Her and Brian Austin Green began dating in 2004 when she was 18 and he was 30. But then in 2009, she was targeted by the fashion motivated criminals known as the Bling Ring.
Oh,
like you that guys movie? Remember? That's what the movie was about.
That was a real thing.
Yeah. They robbed Brian Austin Green's house in order to access Megan Fox's clothing.
They're like, we're not interested in Austin Green. We don't know why anyone is.
It's just funny. All right, so we will see her again on this show in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2014 and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows 2016. She plays April O'Neil.
Yeah.
Michael Fassbender as Burke. Who slowly became more Irish, I felt like, throughout the film.
Yeah.
His name should have been Seamus, man.
Yeah.
Something like that.
He didn't have a first name. He was just Burke.
It was just Burke.
Maybe it was Seamus.
Yeah.
Could have been. And that chin tattoo was quite interesting. I don't remember seeing that in the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
It's like a Maori thing.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
I was very confused by his appearance and his accent.
I mean, maybe he got the tattoos because he was a sailor or something, but you didn't see that in Irish culture history.
No.
Yeah.
No. Let's see. He got his start in Band of Brothers. Then, of course, Inglourious Bastards was where he came to a lot of people's attention. He played the android David 8 in Prometheus and Alien Covenant.
And Walter.
Yeah.
In what, bro?
And Walter in Covenant.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Very different character.
Yeah.
Older.
And of course, he plays Magneto in the X-Men. It's not reboot. The X-Men backwards time compatible.
Well, because they went. Yeah, because after the Singer ones, we went to First Class, and that's when introduced him, and so
Well, no,
they didn't just stick him in.
No, they didn't just stick him in, but it's fitting those into the X-Men timeline is insane.
Well, I mean, X-Men is a comic book. The timeline is insane.
Yeah.
So it fits. It works.
Right.
I think he's German and Spanish, if I remember correctly. So him playing an Irishman is a little odd, I thought.
Yeah, he was born in Heidelberg, and his mother Adele is Irish.
Oh, Irish then. Okay.
His father is German. Yeah,
because he has more of a United Kingdom accent, doesn't he? He doesn't really have a German accent. I mean, in real life.
Well, we see him speak German in X-Men, and he's very much he speaks 2 lines, but
he speaks it a lot in Inglourious Bastards.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
he just speaks a particular regional dialect, which is why they catch him.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And the holding up of the 3.
Yeah.
He's the great grandnephew of Michael Collins.
Huh.
So interesting. Will Arnett. Will Arnett, who is not funny at all in this movie.
No, but he still had Joe Bluth vibes though.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
He played Lieutenant Grass. Also didn't have a first name. And Will Arnett, of course, best known as Job from Arrested Development. He plays BoJack Horseman, which, again, anyone who hasn't watched BoJack Horseman, I think it's the best animated show of the last 10 years. I think it's better than Rick and Morty.
He was Mr. Amy Poehler for several years.
Yes, he was. That's right. He played Lego Batman. I also played Lego Batman, but in a different way.
Yeah, you didn't get paid for it.
Yeah.
Oh, he got paid.
Well, I paid myself.
In Legos. Gross.
Will Arnett. He's great. We'll see him again also in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, yeah.
Michael Shannon as Dr. Cross Williams. He gets 2 names, though. All right.
He was hardly in it, but I love that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, he's been in so many things. Revolutionary Road. What else? He was in The Shape of Water. He was in Bad Boys 2.
Yeah.
Knives Out.
Knives Out, yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yes, Lies Out.
But that was off type because he usually plays a really creepy or menacing type dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knives Out, he was almost feeble. Yeah, fragile.
I forgot. He was in Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans. That movie is one of the craziest fucking things I have ever seen.
What movie?
Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans.
Oh.
Have you guys seen that?
No.
No.
Oh, that's with Nick Cage.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Directed by Werner Herzog, starring Nick Cage.
Wow.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
I'm watching it now.
Sorry, Nicolas Cage and Eva Mendes. That movie is insane and has nothing to do with the Harvey Keitel Bad Lieutenant movie.
Good, because there's no reason to continue that.
No, I don't. Yeah, no, the movie is...
I'm sure there will be another bad cop down the line.
Yes. Wes Bentley played Adelman Lusk. That's the politician dude. That's the guy... I feel like we saw him in something recently. What did we see him in? Let me look at his filmography.
Sorry to jump back to Michael Shannon real quick.
Yeah.
He was Zod in Batman v Superman.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
that's right. And Man of Steel.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So Wes Bentley, we saw him recently in Ghost Rider. He played Blackheart. He was the kid.
All right.
He was the kid with the plastic bag in American Beauty.
Yeah, he pops up a lot actually.
Yeah.
He always has interesting facial hair. Often does.
Yeah. Aidan Quinn played Ulysses S. Grant, America's favorite president.
He didn't do a good or bad job, but I love that guy.
Yeah, same.
I
was immediately pleased to see him and then immediately disappointed by the rest of this movie.
Absolutely. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Legends of the Fall, right?
Legends of the Fall, Michael Collins. Which based on Michael Fassbender's great-great-granduncle.
Oh,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was going to say, like, I don't know. He's totally an Irishman all the way through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a name like Aidan Quinn.
Yeah.
He was in Elementary.
Yeah.
The CBS Sherlock series.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Lance Reddick as Smith. Let's see. He was Cedric in The Wire.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he's a great actor.
Yeah.
I mean, did anybody... He wasn't from the comics, was he, Al Smith? This, like, Q character? Who
I didn't come across his name. No.
I just felt like Black Smith... I don't know.
Well...
And he makes the metal arsenal, and yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, and it took me because I missed a lot the first time because I was having a real hard time paying attention to this movie. It was not good.
Yeah.
But when he was at the president's speech, Jude was like, "No, that's not him." I was like, "No, that's the same guy." And Jude was like, "No, they couldn't possibly only have one black guy in this movie." I was like, "Oh, yeah, they could.
They couldn't possibly.
They really could."
Your
really,
sweet
really
summer
could.
child. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. Yeah.
I mean, he was like the Lucius Fox type character, but they gave him the one scene and he said very little. It's just like, that could have been a fun dynamic.
Yeah.
He and Jonah know each other, clearly.
Yeah, clearly. We had John Gallagher Jr. as Lieutenant Evan, Tom Wopat as Colonel Slocum.
Yep.
Julia
Just
Jones.
a good old boy.
Yes.
Never meaning no harm. Like, of course he's a Confederate.
Yeah.
His car had the Confederate flag on the
and as we said, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, the uncredited role as Jeb Turnbull.
Dude,
Yep.
Lance Reddick played the voice of Sam Wilson in the Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes animated series. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Huh.
I just want to shout out one guy. The telegraph operator was Rance Howard, father of Clint and Ron.
Oh, wow.
Really?
I did not realize
He's
that.
passed on now, but he was an actor even before his son was. But
Wow. Good for him, still working in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
That's the production. I got a couple reviews to read off Rotten Tomatoes. This has 12% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Sorry to interrupt you. I just in the corner of my eye over the weekend, I caught like a headline or somebody's post. Didn't just recently Paddington get a higher rating than Citizen Kane?
So
And it was
what happened was somebody dug up an 80-year-old bad review of Citizen Kane and posted it to Rotten Tomatoes so that Citizen Kane went from 100% to 99%.
Oh my god!
And thus Paddington 2, Toy Story, and The Godfather are now the only 3 100% movies on Rotten Tomatoes.
Paddington
2.
the sequel?
Yes, Paddington 2.
What the fuck?
Wow.
I haven't seen them, but apparently Paddington and Paddington 2 are both really good movies.
Yeah, I mean, no. I didn't think they were, but that's these fucking nerds.
I saw it, but I don't remember it being remarkable in any way.
It's better than Citizen Kane.
It was just safe, I guess.
It's better than fuck these fucking.
Okay, so I've got a couple audience reviews here. Jeff B writes, a lot of butthurt DC fanboys in the comments, along with a lot of mentally weak spoileds who criticize pointless details. That being said, it's no better or worse than most comic action adventure movies. We've seen this story before, and many of you liked it. Just not now. Bunch of spoileds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Quit trying to make spoileds work. That's not a thing.
No, it's not a thing, Jeff.
Well, yeah, there is a word. It's brat.
Yeah.
Like you're a brat. Yeah,
Spoiled. Like groceries that need to get tossed.
Exactly. Nolan burgers that have gone bad.
Nolan burgers. Patrick D writes, I would point out that he writes this in April of 2020. Still waiting for the sequel.
Yeah, he was. That's 10 years later, right?
Yeah, 10 years later. It's like any time now. It's coming.
Just him sitting on the steps of his front stoop, just waiting for the sequel.
That's about it for our background, everybody. Boys, are you ready to jump into this thing?
Yeah, let's shoot the shit out of it. Get moving.
Here we go. This is Jonah Hex.
And it opens with the weirdest Ken Burns documentary you've ever seen.
Yeah, we open on the Civil War. Jonah Hex tells us how much he enjoys fighting for the Confederacy. But then partway through, he figures out maybe they don't stand for everything he stands for.
And it was very confusing because, they had the big trench and the Confederate soldiers lined up, but Hex was not one of them. I mean, as Al said, he had a change of heart, but right off the bat, it was confusing.
Yeah.
All the footage they showed us in the beginning with the voiceover, I couldn't connect to anything. It was just random, like Civil War looking footage to me. Like I didn't recognize anybody. I didn't know what was going on. It was all a weird, like sepia tone. So I couldn't even tell who was Union and who was Confederate.
Well, I mean, you're right. It was sepia, but you could see the blue and the gray, and they had the Confederates lined up to be executed, and Jonah Hex was watching. He wasn't a part of that.
Right. Because in this movie, he actually turned them in, whereas in the comics, he only turned himself in.
Yeah.
I see. So he ratted on those dudes?
Yeah, he throughout the movie, he totally betrayed those dudes.
He went to the Union and was like, hey, these guys want to secede. Shocking.
I don't think they'll be successful.
I'm a Grant man myself. Jefferson Davis is overrated.
I'm Sherman. Sherman was a motherfucker.
He was. He really was.
He's like, I left Atlanta standing because I'm a nice guy. Nothing else, though.
So, all right. We cut to Jonah. He's tied up Jesus style.
Yeah, was that a crucifix?
Some other than covered. It was an X.
Yeah, but I mean, it was definitely meant to evoke crucifixes.
Yeah.
And that was a shot from the comics. He was tied up the same way by the Apaches that scarred his face.
Okay. In this case, he's tied up by Quentin Turnbull.
I think there was Turnbull was a common Southern name. I think there might have been an officer named Turnbull. Anyway.
So yeah, Turnbull's murdering his wife and kid. He brands Jonah's face with the QT, which looks
with the QT. Hey, cutie.
The cute. Now everyone will forever know you're a cutie.
Yep. That's the name of his adorable gang.
The cuties.
The cuties.
The cuties are coming for you, Ulysses S. Grant.
Sounds adorable.
So he's doing that because Jonah killed Turnbull's son, Jonah's old best friend, Jeb. Jeb Turnbull. So then we get an animated montage. Okay.
They got to make up their fucking minds with this beginning of this movie, man.
Well, and it does that awful like the effect where it goes to animation, but they just do that like really bad Adobe Premiere preset animation where it turns it animated looking.
Or those Korean reenactment videos.
Yeah.
So all right, so he was saved by a tribe of, and I want to point this out, they are specific, a tribe of Crow.
The Crow.
Crow.
That was a nation. Is a nation. But the Crows help them.
They specifically state it is the Crow.
The Crow brought him back from the underworld?
Yes.
I think he said that.
I want to make sure we understand it's the Crow, because there are things that happen later that make it being the Crow make no sense whatsoever.
Also, the Crow tribal territories were in what is now North Dakota, Wyoming, and Montana.
That is the main point. Yes, that makes many things later make no sense whatsoever. Yes.
But are they like the Cherokee or something? Were they one of the nations that were previously like southeast or mideast and then moved?
They were.
The Crow was always the Badlands.
They were a Plains tribe. They and the Lakota were the two big Plains tribes.
Right. Cool. All right. Thank you.
So let's see. So all of this is animated. The Crow medicine men bring him back from the brink of death. Not from death. He was not dead. They bring him back from being almost dead.
Mostly dead.
Mostly dead.
Mostly dead. Yeah, to find out that there were no supernatural abilities attached to this character before makes all of that shit just insulting, really.
Yes.
I mean, how do you contrive that Crow shit after there's been like 6 Crow movies? Like, how do you...
Well,
it could be a snake. It could be something else.
And they use the Crow tribe because their name is Crow, and crows are crows.
This is like the whitest shit ever.
Oh my God, it's awful. And also, I'd like to point out he was not dead. So his ability to talk to dead people is just due to them providing him good health care.
Yeah, you're right. Organic remedies. And so I won't save it till the end because it's an important question. How is there a limit? Is a person too dead? Like, he talked about spirits being trapped and spirits crossing over. Like, once you cross over, can he still touch your hand? And I know he dug up Jeb, but Jeb wasn't that old.
I mean, that was late. No, because that was during the Civil War. It's been like 12 years at least for Jeb. Then this is 1876.
Well, then more to my point. Yeah, you can just touch bones.
It would appear. And Jeb was not nearly decomposed enough for 12 years in the ground.
That's why I didn't realize. Yeah, I didn't do the math. It seemed fresh. He still had facial hair. That was what it was when he died.
Yes.
Well, your hair keeps growing.
Yeah.
Forever.
For
but
years.
His didn't. He had a mustache.
Very sinewy for a long dead corpse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They tied this
so
to
there's no limit.
Yeah, they tied this to a specific date, July 4th, 1876.
Oh, you're right. Very
so
specific.
And the fact that we also know when the Civil War was means like they play real fast and loose with a lot of time stuff in this. Really, really fast and loose. So we're still animated. We haven't yet got out of the animation. They bring him back from the brink of death, which gives him the ability to talk to dead people. And then through animation, we find out that someone tells him Turnbull died in a hotel fire.
He was at the Four Seasons.
Yeah, he's just sitting at the bar, dying.
Yeah.
In the animation, it didn't make any sense.
No, I'm not escaping this.
So he's like, well, I guess he's dead. Might as well be a bounty hunter.
Right. Yeah. His vengeance set aside so easily. He wasn't even the one.
So I did what I do best kind of thing. Like that, that was what the monologue, like the voiceover said. So dumb.
Yeah.
And then he shoots like 12 people in one go. And then we're out of the animation thing. That was so fucking weird. All of that to do for that setup. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was frustrated by that.
Yeah. That animation reeks of, hey, we're out of money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Why did he have to be dead? Why did he have to die to then come back alive without actually having died?
And he uses this power that they created for the movie twice. Right? With the dude who's in the cage on the farm or whatever, and then Jeb.
Yeah, he uses it twice. Twice only.
Why didn't he revive his family and just keep them with him?
Well, it only lasts for a while. The sooner you're dead... So, okay, the longer you're dead, the longer it takes for the dead people to burn up. And then so the people that are recently dead will burn up right away. But also, dead people are able to know where everyone that they knew in life are at all times.
Oh, because they're watching us.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're always just bumping around.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's always been my problem. You think about all the people who have died since the dawn of man. It's got to be crowded.
God,
watching you in the
ghosts walking around.
Hey, I just heard a interesting fact the other day. There were over 200 billion T-Rexes that existed over their time on Earth, which is something like 10 times the amount of humans that have ever existed.
Yeah.
T-Rexes,
not dinosaurs. Yeah. T-Rexes specifically.
They may have stuck. Well, they might have been hunted out, but if it wasn't for a cataclysmic event, they might still be here.
Oh yeah. If it wasn't for that,
filing taxes and balancing checkbooks and going to work.
Like the show dinosaurs
making music.
1%.
Making music.
1% of the dinosaurs would be making too much money, and the rest would be struggling to get by.
Just a stegosaurus with the sign that says "Why lie? I need a beer."
So the Earth is just haunted by T-Rex ghosts.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's packed with T-Rex ghosts.
Yeah.
So all right.
Do you think they watch us wherever we go?
The T-Rexes.
No, they can't unless we.
That's
move.
That's what cats see when they like pounce at nothing.
Oh yeah,
it's T-Rex ghosts. All right, so we finally get to the title card, and Jonah Hex is dragging a bunch of dead bodies into a small mining town in the desert. The sheriff double crosses him, not wanting to pay the bounty, and so Jonah just kills off the sheriff and all his men.
Yep.
With his horse Gatling guns.
Okay.
Which we never see again, even though I feel like that might be useful to him at certain points in this film.
Well, that poor horse. Later on, he just whistles, and that horse comes from like half a mile away. It's like, that horse is deaf, Jonah.
Yes, it is.
Machine guns right next to its ears.
And his sides are scarred and burned.
Yes.
Gatling guns are hot.
Is that a dead horse? Maybe because he's riding it alive?
I wondered, yeah, because then later on he's like, well, he'll either come and get me or go do his own thing.
Well, the way he whistles for it, it's like it's the horse from Red Dead 2. Like
comes from miles away.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, he heard that?
Well, and let's be fair, this is essentially a video game. There are moments where there's a lot of fast travel going on in this movie.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So, all right. We cut to a train. There's a group of soldiers on it. They get attacked by a group of horsemen. Burke, the Irish guy, played by Michael Fassbender, is rigging dynamite to blow to the tracks. They separate.
It's a bummer. I was thinking two of my favorite train robbery scenes. And of course, Butch Cassidy, but then also Solo.
Oh,
that
God.
Crazy. Like, that was one of my favorite train robbery.
That was a great train heist in Solo.
You can really make them fun, but the best idea they had was to blow it up.
Well, blow it up. Yeah. And like, there's the there were the two soldiers on board that were actually part of the Turnbull gang, apparently. That like,
yeah.
But, so, all right. There was like probably 50, 60 Union soldiers. Then there were two of the Turnbull soldiers that took their hats off and the masks fell down, which first off, clearly they've been in like the barracks on the train with these guys for like a few weeks. They know who they're like, Joey, why are you wearing that mask?
Hey, what's going on?
But there were two of them. They pull out pistols. And the 60 soldiers that have all their rifles ready because they see the train robbers coming are just stopping like, uh-oh, they're going to shoot us. We better just give them what they want.
Yeah.
So they blow up the back of the train, and the front of the train has some big cannons on it that Turnbull wants.
This is very like Lawrence of Arabia, kind of like, yeah, I don't know. It was a weird train explosions.
Yeah.
It's the worst train explosion I've ever seen.
It was bad.
Yeah.
And so they steal the big cannon. We cut to Washington, D.C. The president, Ulysses S. Grant. It's weird having Ulysses S. Grant in this, I feel like.
Well, this is just a continuation of Wild Wild West.
Yeah. It really is.
He inherited a steaming pile of shit, like the war wasn't really over.
No.
Yeah.
It still isn't, apparently. But yeah, like I have to quell all this violence.
Yes. Yeah, well, yeah. So yeah, he gets word that General Turnbull is still alive and stole some sort of secret weapon from a Virginia armory the week prior.
Where are we? Are we in Virginia?
Missouri?
Are we?
Right?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know either.
We spent some time in Georgia. We spent some time in Virginia. We spent some time in South Carolina.
And Missouri.
Poor horse.
That's where Jonah Hex is from, but he also says it.
Okay.
And then later on, we're further west because one town looks like Santo Poco. It's got an old mission.
Exactly. And when he has that bounty at the beginning, that's clearly like that's a mine and that desert. It looks like it's probably
El
Nevada
Paso or something. Yeah.
Oh no, I was thinking Nevada.
It's Texas or west.
I was thinking silver. Well, I was thinking it would be a silver mine because that's the vibe I was getting. Like with the big, wide open, desolate, like Western California.
Well, all of America looked like that during the 1800s.
That's true.
Flat
No, but you're right. He would be off somewhere fighting somebody or looking for Turnbull, and then next scene he's in the White House.
Well, that's okay. So, no, that's what I'm getting at, and the time thing and the distance thing is an issue throughout this film. On top of the fact that, like, it's really terrible. Okay, so so Grant says the only one who can help us is Jonah Hex.
Yeah, that's funny.
Like, okay, Ulysses S. Grant, if you say so.
None of those Union generals,
right?
And when did they meet before? You know what I mean? Like,
how does he know?
Grant was a Union general, and then Hex was a Confederate. It's just funny.
Yeah,
that's his go-to.
Yeah. So then we cut to what looks like a Mexican village, the aforementioned Santa Poco, where Megan Fox is a prostitute in this small Mexican village.
Dusty ass, syphilis ridden.
Apparently the only prostitute in this village.
It's a living.
This village has got to feel really lucky. They're like, we have the best prostitute.
We have the prettiest woman on the continental United States. All the rest look like Grant.
All the rest look like women from the 1800s.
Exactly.
We see that Jonah has a drinking problem.
Yeah, it pours out the side of it.
I want to point out something. I know this is comic accurate, but that little flap of skin where there's the hole on the side, you can clearly see that his mouth just goes to the side. Mm-hmm. It's not like his cheek has a hole in it. No, it's like a flap of skin grew over the side of his mouth.
Yeah. Which it took so long to show how that particular injury happened, because he got branded on the face. And so I was just like, that how did that happen? But then, we see him with the
tomahawk later on. But yeah. And also, he specifically pours the shot into the side of his mouth. In order like, I've had tooth pain before. You can favor one side when you're drinking. Yeah.
No, Al's right. Yeah, he has a drinking problem.
It's a funny gag, but with if he's been scarred like this for 12 years, you'd think he would roll his head to the left side or just pour it straight down his throat. He would have figured out some way to overcome that.
How does he have mouth hole whiskey money?
Right. All right. So he kills a rando for making a crack about his face.
And the guy pulls out a knife too.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Right. And he knows who Jonah Hex is, but he doesn't know that particular story, I guess.
He knows who Jonah Hex is, but still thinks it's a good idea to pull out a knife on him in a bar.
Yeah. That was a funny line. That was a good Western line.
Yeah, sure.
What's the matter with yours?
No, Josh Brolin, he had a couple good lines. They weren't all terrible. So, all right. Then.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think this is the guy who's like, he doesn't look so tough. It's like he doesn't. Right? Are you kidding me? He looks pretty fucking tough to me. He's got a hole in his face.
So, all right. We meet Megan Fox, prostitute extraordinaire.
A citizen of the world.
Yeah. Some dude wants her to run away with him, and she's like, no, I prefer being a prostitute in this small Mexican village.
I've got a 5-year plan.
I'm invested in my 401k.
I'm working my way through accounting school.
So, all right. Jonah arrives. They're all lovey and spend the night together. They discuss that Jonah is wanted by the law now due to killing the sheriff and his guys at the beginning of the movie.
But Grant still wants him to work for him.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a shoo-in for a pardon.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Well, and he gave $10,000 to Grant's re-election campaign. So.
There you go.
They fight because he won't settle down with her. Then soldiers burst in. They tell him that Turnbull is still alive. They want his help to capture or kill him or something. They don't really specify. They're just like, Turnbull's alive. Come get it.
It's General Voldemort, right? He's like, don't you say that name.
So Jonah,
Malkovich would have made a great Voldemort.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have to have any makeup whatsoever.
No. Or extensions.
But he would have had that Malkovich voice, maybe with like a 30% British accent.
I'm trying to think the last time I saw John Malkovich like in like a real acting role, and I don't know. Maybe I just don't watch enough of those movies anymore. Maybe they're still being made.
He's great in Space Force.
Oh, I haven't watched Space Force.
He is good in that. Yeah. Yeah, he's good. He's fucking good.
So, all right. He meets Lieutenant Grass, Will Arnett, interrogates one of Turnbull's dead men. The dead guy tells him that he was recruited into the Turnbull gang by a man named Royal Slocum. Royal Slocum's running a fight club, which means the dead guy just broke the first rule.
Yeah, he did.
Maybe that's why he's dead.
Mm.
Not a first offense.
That's true. He broke the second rule, too.
Yeah.
What is the punishment for talking about Fight Club? I guess you get your ass kicked.
Yeah, get beat up.
Yeah.
That's what you're into. I mean, talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
Win-win.
So Jonah heads to Fight Club.
You go door to door. Hi, can I talk to you about Fight Club?
Like, oh man, come on.
Honey, the Fight Clubbers are here again.
So Jonah heads to Fight Club. Along the way, he has a memory of burning off the QT from his face. Then there's a lot of this movie that is just Jonah's brain. Like just him thinking about things and remembering things and imagining things.
Imagining things, yeah.
Just fever dream after fever dream.
Yeah. We join Turnbull. He's having a meeting with Adaman Lusk, who is a Southern politician guy who's working with Turnbull apparently to overthrow the U.S. government. He tells Turnbull where a trigger device for the cannon is. Turnbull then steals it and kills a bunch of soldiers.
Why did they not even try to tell you what these weapons were? What were those orange orbs?
Well, oh yeah. I mean, I was gonna wait to get to that, but how this weapon works, what it is, like
when it wasn't supernatural, and didn't they say Eli Whitney even have? Well, no, but it wasn't supposed to be. Do you know what I mean? They were acting as though it was an industrial achievement.
So those orange globes weren't meant to be something magic? Because it seemed like magic to me.
No,
it seemed like they were leaning in on them being like beyond chemistry, more a product of physics,
like atomic or something almost. But
yeah.
But you're right. They gave an impression that there was something. It's also like the fight in this scene with that snake dude. Like they just introduced a dude who is pretty extra.
I was about to get to the Snake Man. The Snake Man is insane.
But nobody else.
Yeah.
The dude could unhinge his jaw. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. The supernatural elements to this film were so haphazardly thrown in, just here and there for no purpose other than for them to be there.
The orange balls, all they did was ignite lead cannonballs. How the fuck does that work?
Were
You know what I
those
mean?
lead cannonballs, or were they something in them? Because they seemed like they were glowing and cracking from the inside themselves.
Yeah, right, that's what I mean. They detonate those. So no, probably not lead, but they didn't tell us.
Yeah, they had to fire what looked like regular cannonballs, but might have been something special, but they weren't glowing. And then the glowing one detonated all of those.
Right, but after those landed, you could see in some shots they started to kind of break apart, like little cracks where there was almost like a lava look inside them.
I thought that was after the orange orb.
No,
because the townspeople come out to inspect them.
And when they're inspecting them, they're starting to crack apart, and then he fires the orange one, and the orange one causes all of those to explode.
Okay,
so it seems like the big ones he fired first also have something special to them.
They absolutely do. Alpha. I mean, they blew up like explosives, like C4.
But this would be so easy to explain with one line.
One line.
Yeah.
And also, why does it have to be this weird dual shot thing? It's just confusing.
Well, and how lazy to be Eli Whitney, after he invented the cotton gin, he invented the most powerful weapon on Earth.
I actually looked this up because I was like, did Eli Whitney have anything to do with weapons? And he did actually become a musket supplier to the United States Army in the early 1800s. So
he's from the town in Connecticut my dad's family's from, Terryville.
Did they know him? All right. So yeah, he Jonah arrives at Fight Club. He confronts Slocum, who won't talk. So Jonah kills Slocum, and yeah, the Snake Man. What the fuck is up with I was expecting him to become the sidekick or something, or escape and cause havoc, anything. But no, he just dies in the fire, apparently.
But he's also some sort of supernatural. If they had just stuck to his agility and shit, his parkour bouncing off everything, fine. But like I said, he unhinges his jaw.
Venom. He drips venom, which smokes and spatters.
Right. And then there's not another character before or after him.
Yeah.
With powers.
It was bizarre. It was bizarre that there was this one dude. Yeah. All right. So Jonah saves a dog and burns down Fight Club. The dog follows him. Jonah heads to a graveyard where he talks to his ex-best friend, Jeb. That's Turnbull's son. He digs him up. Questions him. Jeb tells Jonah that Turnbull is at Fort Resurrection, the aptly named Fort Resurrection.
Yeah, so convenient.
Yeah.
We could have been stuck at Fort Die Forever, but luckily we made it over here.
Yeah. Well, and why was he Turnbull's son?
Yeah, that was weird, because I thought he killed... Oh, well, he did kill Jeb, but why was he?
That's why, so that we could have, Turnbull killing Jonah's... Vengeance. Yeah, the vengeance.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense. I mean,
and this character was from the comics as well.
Yeah.
He was Jeb's friend before he betrayed whatever. And yeah, that's why Turnbull in this movie and in the comics, that's why General Turnbull is after Jonah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there has to be an adversary for sure.
Yeah.
It made it personal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. Meanwhile, Megan Fox has her contract bought out by the guy that wanted to run away with her. So she has a contract?
Her contract, yeah. Who brokered that? Her agent?
Right.
Are they under contract?
Apparently, the only prostitute in the small Mexican village has a contract.
Yeah, when it runs up, they're just going to let her leave town.
Yeah, sure. Exactly. Once she fulfills the terms of the contract, she's going to leave.
They took women's legal rights very seriously.
That's why she's the only one. There's an exclusivity clause.
It's like how cable companies don't service the same area. So, all right. So Jonah visits his old friend Smith, who gives him the dynamite crossbow.
Yeah, so he's a weapons expert, but they really don't even talk about that. And he's also very innovative, I would say, more than Eli Whitney.
Yes.
Yeah.
He just learned. Okay.
Eli Whitney. I can't believe Eli Whitney is part of this movie.
The continent killing weapon.
Well, and Junior and Senior, what's his name? Burke's question.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't Senior, it was Junior.
Okay.
Eli Whitney Jr. is the one that invented the
Oh,
cotton gin.
is that
Okay.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. I was like, oh, that's wrong.
Huh. Interesting. So, all right. Jonah goes to Fort Resurrection. He sneaks in. Then we learn all the stuff about Eli Whitney and it being a continent killing cannon. Yeah. It's just a big cannon.
with very modern schematics.
Yes. So then we learn he's attacking Washington on July 4th when Ulysses S. Grant is given his big speech. Turnbull spots Jonah. They fight. Jonah fights all his men. He's injured by Burke, but then he escapes.
He gets shot twice in the chest.
Yeah.
Yes.
By Burke. With a shotgun, I assume?
And the very first gunfight we see him in is that town with the sheriff and all those assholes. They have him dodging bullets Matrix style, and it led me to believe that that was a part of his power. And it's not.
No.
He's just good at dodging bullets?
Yeah, he's just Tom Cruise in this universe, I guess.
I guess.
Okay, so
at the firefight here, he very casually discards the dynamite crossbows.
Yeah, he just drops it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's done.
Yeah.
Single-use crossbow.
I can't get more dynamite. So even though I just shot some dynamite, which Burke is like, oh, you shot the dynamite. Now I have to take care of that before I can kill you. And he goes and takes the dynamite and spends like 3 minutes slowly walking it up to the top of the wall so he can throw it away.
Well, how did the dynamite not dynamite is so like fragile. You drop a box of it and it will fucking explode.
Right. And like 3 rows down, if one of them is lit, they're all exploding already.
Yeah.
They're going up.
This is so dumb. And here's where we get our first really, really terrible time thing. So they say specifically that in 2 weeks, it will be the 4th of July. They are in South Carolina at Fort Resurrection.
I had no idea.
And Turnbull sends Burke to kidnap Megan Fox at this point, somewhere in the Southwest.
Right.
I looked it up. By train, South Carolina to the American Southwest would take at least 10 days in the 1800s.
Yeah.
So
probably longer on one horse.
Yeah. So we're talking a minimum of 20 days for Burke to get there and get Megan Fox and get back to South Carolina.
Damn.
So, all right. Unless that small Mexican village is in Georgia.
Is there one Mexican restaurant?
It's just an El Pollo Loco.
Like a theme park
on the border, a theme park.
It's a Chipotle. Okay. So Jonah is riding on his horse still the next day. He collapses injured in the middle of what appears to be this. I'm assuming he's in South Carolina still. He couldn't have gotten that far. It looks like the American Southeast. There's like.
Well, and similar things the Crow did in the Crow Nation did in the earlier scenes are happening again. So he must be back with the Crow, right?
Okay, so all right. So then either in the course of like 6 hours, he rode from South Carolina to North Dakota.
Right.
Or this Great Plains tribe, for some reason, took their village and moved it to South Carolina without the American government having any problem with that, because we know how chill the American government was about the Native Americans in the 1800s.
The chieftain is like, hey, I got a job offer, so...
I just looked up, I found another location that Jeb Turnbull was buried at Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
Oh my God.
Oh my fucking God.
Oh, wow.
Like at least Ghost Rider, let you know that this the horse was also spectral and could move in and out. You know what I mean? Yeah, they don't give you any indication that this horse is just.
This is worse than This is worse than like the Game of Thrones season 8 jetpacking. Like, oh my god. All right, so so Jonah has his imagination battle with Turnbull.
Yeah. What was that?
Right?
Yeah. I was like, is this a flashback? Andrew's like, oh, I think it's a hallucination.
No, he's just thinking about fighting him. It's interesting.
And that's how it's going to go down. All right.
Then Turnbull blows up a town. Burke arrives and kidnaps Megan Fox. So she killed the dude that bought out her contract, then just hung out at the same brothel for weeks. All right.
She has the contract, man.
Yeah, it's her contract now. Meanwhile, Jonah is healed by the tribe of Crow in the American South, in the Southeast, apparently. As soon as I saw the teepees, I was like, those are not the Native Americans that were in that part of the country.
Yeah, exactly.
And plus, that those teepees looked terrible.
Yep.
My dad had a teepee. I spent a lot of time putting a teepee up and taking it down. Those things would have fallen over with a stiff breeze. So the ones in this movie. So all right, he gets better and goes and sends a message to the president. About
bird crawls out his mouth, right?
Yeah, bird.
Yeah, crow.
A crow crawls out of his mouth.
Was it through that hole in the side of his mouth, or was that?
I wonder.
He's like, I don't remember eating that.
The crow gets stuck on the little flap. Some people believe.
How long does it take to recover from a double gunshot wound using magical medicine?
Using magic birds.
At least 10 days.
He's all, make sure you don't eat more than 2 birds in one day. It's not good for your liver.
Come and see me in the morning.
Yeah, I don't know the time and the distance in this movie is out of control, insane. Everything happens within 10 miles of each other. Mexico is 10 miles away from Washington D.C.
Yep. Yes, it is.
So, all right. Then he sends a message to Ulysses S. Grant that Turnbull's going to.
Do you like me? Check yes or no.
Turnbull is going to attack the big 4th of July party in Washington, D.C. So he races.
I heard Kool and the Gang was going to be playing. Fuck that.
Yeah, they're all. Ulysses S. Grant comes out and they're all, don't stop thinking about tomorrow.
We're dancing like Gore and Clinton.
So, he goes and he races to find Turnbull. Turnbull is getting into a boat. I believe this is now in Virginia he's at.
Yeah, because it's what, Independence Harbor? Is that what that's called?
Yeah, I don't
know. Harbor up near Philadelphia? Yeah. Anyways, so he gets on a boat.
Yeah, Turnbull kills Lusk. I just want to say this is a trope that I only recognized with this film, where there's like the bad guy that's like really bad, and he ends up like betraying the bad guy that was like bankrolling him. It's kind of like with Justin Hammer and Whiplash in Iron Man 2.
Or Bane and Daggett.
Yeah.
In Rises.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's that trope. So, all right. He kills Burke. Then Jonah kills Burke. He gets captured because Turnbull is holding Megan Fox captive. Then in Washington, Ulysses S. Grant starts giving his big speech. Smith is there watching. The ship arrives, and it has on its sights a Capitol building shaped sight.
Yeah. Oh God. Yep.
Who built that? Who made the sighting mechanism for that?
Right.
Somebody from the South, obviously.
I was gonna say, some blacksmith, like You're not going to use this to try to blow up the Capitol, are you? No, man, no.
Not at all.
No.
Just Capitol building shaped things.
Yeah, I like the aesthetic. What?
Luckily, Turnbull leaves Megan Fox and Jonah Hex completely unattended while he's doing his master plan.
Always Blofeld.
They escape. He blows up Will Arnett, or Turnbull blows up Will Arnett. They get in a big fight. Megan Fox and Jonah Hex kill a bunch of his guys. Then it comes down to Jonah fighting Turnbull hand to hand, simultaneously on the ship and in his imagination fight.
Yes.
He kills Turnbull. Him and Megan Fox blow up the boat and they jump off at the last second. Later, Ulysses S. Grant gives Jonah Hex a cash reward and a full pardon, and he wants to make Jonah Sheriff of America.
Yeah.
What does he say? The country doesn't have a sheriff?
Yeah, he's like, this country doesn't have sheriffs. And it's funny because we have marshals.
Yes,
there.
Exactly. He didn't want to make him a U.S. Marshal. He wanted to make him Sheriff of America.
Have specific jurisdictions. Marshals do not.
So he and Megan...
It's like giving Elvis like a DEA badge.
Right.
Yeah. Crazy as that.
Yep. So Jonah says no. Him and Megan Fox leave Washington. He visits Jeb's grave again, which apparently was in Pennsylvania.
Was moved to Arlington.
Yeah. Then he just rides away with the voiceover that says some vengeance stuff, and then the credits roll. And that is Jonah Hex.
That is that.
Oh, dear Lord.
The music at the end for the credits was okay until the very end. The unapologetic Rebel song.
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't watch through that far.
Yeah.
I was just happy to turn it off.
Well, I zipped through to see if there was post-credit. I knew there wasn't, but yeah, then that caught my ear, and Al's right. It's offensive. And it's so funny because I thought the Confederates were the bad guys, not just in real life, but this movie.
Yeah.
Which leads me to my unanswered question.
Yeah.
If Hex realized the Confederacy was wrong, why does he keep wearing his Confederate uniform?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I also was wondering.
The deserter would burn that. Yeah.
It's so he can be sneaky, I guess, and kill.
He's like, they won't recognize me with this jacket.
Yeah.
Just burned out face and shit.
Another unanswered question. Why did Turnbull not kill Jonah Hex immediately when he captured him on the ship at the end?
Yeah.
Because
he wanted him to see.
He wanted him to
destroy America.
Yeah, but Jonah Hex wasn't like all into America. It wasn't like when he was killing his family where it's like it's personal. Jonah Hex didn't give a fuck about America.
No.
He just wanted revenge on Turnbull.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it had been Ulysses S. Grant, it would have made sense.
Because Ulysses S. Grant was Jonah Hex's old crush.
Well, no, I mean, like, if he'd had Ulysses S. Grant on the boat, like, I want the president to watch me do this. Sure. Right. But, like, this, outlaw, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, and his sort of girlfriend, who we clearly saw, her life is in danger on a daily basis. But she's the hostage,
And I thought when he said, like, I want him to watch, I thought he meant I want him to watch me kill Megan Fox.
Yeah.
Not America.
Not America.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jonah Hex is like, not the Washington Monument. No.
It's not even finished.
It's a monument to Washington.
Not to mention, that shit was built by slaves. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't know. We covered most of my other unanswered questions throughout the course of this.
I mean, I think it could have been saved if people cared a little more. I think there were some bones, some decent bones there, but they just fucking did not flesh anything out.
If this felt like a Western, it would have been infinitely better. If it didn't have fucking heavy metal, like new metal, weird mid 2000s heavy metal guitar over every scene. If it had had some faux Morricone string sounds, lean into the spaghetti Western stuff, some stuff that happens in the daytime, maybe.
Right.
Also, like some shots of like actual places instead of like a shot of like a crane shot of a village. This would have been an infinitely better movie to at least watch.
Well, and heavy metal is kind of twofold because they did all those Wild West type weapons and shit. It didn't even need that high tech angle because they didn't even flesh that out. You know, we saw Smith in 2 scenes, but they have a long history. This dude is obviously a free man and quite the engineer. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
They didn't try.
No, they didn't try. Everything felt lazy. Everything felt rushed and half-assed. It took two watches for me to even figure out what the actual plot really was. And even still, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, I don't know if it was kill Turnbull or save the country. Because for Jonah, it seemed more about Turnbull.
Yeah, until suddenly it wasn't.
Right, suddenly it wasn't,
How does he know Ulysses S. Grant? What the fuck, man?
Right, he was a Confederate, and then he broke from the Confederates and sort of hit the road. And technically a deserter.
I'd like to point out there were tens of thousands of soldiers in the Civil War. He wasn't a general for the Confederacy. He was just like a random soldier.
Yeah.
I think they might have been trying to imply by Jeb being buried at Gettysburg that Jonah turned himself over to Ulysses Grant.
Oh, personally he turned him over.
Is he what turned the tide at Gettysburg? Is that what they're implying? He's the reason why the North won the war.
Just him.
Because Gettysburg was close, you guys.
Yeah,
it was really close.
Yeah.
It was very close.
It wasn't a sweep.
Yeah, but you think about it, it's like, what are they getting at with him being buried at Gettysburg?
That's a good point.
That's weird. That would have been interesting if they had said that out loud, though. Like, oh, dude,
a lot of things,
you turned the tide of the war with your turning over of your unit.
So many things would have been helped with one sentence. You're absolutely right. Like those weapons, the glowing balls. It doesn't have to be logical, but you have to fucking tell us.
It's the ghost of all the T-Rexes. That's how we blow up these things.
Yeah.
You know, like, cool, I'll believe that guy had a crow come out of his mouth.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Well, yeah, and plus, like, it's like with the cannonballs, it was such a complex concept with the double. Like, you have to shoot the big ones and you shoot the glowing ones.
The revolver cannon also. All of those barrels seem to be the same length. They were all in the same place. They were all pointed at the same angle. They all shot from the top like a revolver. How the fuck did they land somewhere else?
I just did a fact check. Grant was not at Gettysburg.
Oh. I thought he was.
Robert E. Lee was, and George Meade.
Oh.
The inventor of mead.
No, he just popularized it. He definitely didn't invent it.
The mead
fighting man.
School supply company.
Yeah, he invented notebooks.
Trapper keeper.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, I don't want to devote any more time to this thing. You ready to rank it?
Mm-hmm.
What's our most steaming pile of timely superhero movie?
Well, I mean, here's
period piece.
Okay, so period piece. Well, there's The Shadow at 73. That was in the 30s.
This reminds me of like Ghost Rider and the Punishers. I don't know, that bullshit dark edgy.
It does. I also think, but I would say we've got League of Extraordinary Gentlemen at 66. I think it's worse than that.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is worse than The Spirit, which is saying something.
I feel like it's in. Okay, personally, I feel like it's in this range, somewhere between The Spirit and like Elektra. Like it's in this area. Personally.
Yeah, I got serious Catwoman. Like, what the fuck is going on? I don't know what is happening.
At least Catwoman and the Spirit had people involved with it that were like interested in doing something. Like they had something to say, as misguided and bizarre as it was. Halle Berry was like going for it. She was acting to the rafters. This was just like a dreary trudge through a formulaic
I'm
bog.
good with right under the Spirit or right above.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Al, what are your feelings on this movie?
Can we put it right in the middle of the Spirit?
Put it the Jonah Hex Spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say below.
Below the Spirit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Brian, you're good with that?
Yeah, bury this thing.
All
I mean,
right.
the Spirit had some cool visual effects. Nothing else, but
Yeah. It at least was visually striking.
You know,
Right.
Jonah Hex had that facial prosthetic thing going on for it that really added so much.
yeah. Really tied the room together.
Yeah.
I personally don't think I hated it as much as it sounds like you guys did, but I can't fight for it.
I didn't hate it as much as the room did. But yeah, it's not good.
I was not entertained by this movie. I was confused and frustrated by this movie.
No, at least some of these, like, you know, as bad as it was, Catwoman was strangely
Funny.
entertaining.
Yeah, it was funny.
This wasted its entire cast. This wasted every single cast member in offensive ways.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, there was no reason for this to be made at all. No one had any sort of passion for it. Like, it was just an exercise in, we have a property, let's make a thing out of it.
Yeah.
Well, not just that, but also, and despite two Iron Man, they were still in that attitude of like the dark, edgy characters, the ones that sell, the Punishers, the Ghost Riders, the Jonah Hex, Constantine. Like they still, at this point, would not admit that we just wanted superheroes.
We want something fun.
Yeah, we want something fun. We're into the tights, dummies.
This made me think, not to like, of course this is a DC property, but so Marvel has made a reputation for like doing different types of movies, like a heist movie. Now they're doing a kung fu movie, that kind of thing. Marvel has never done a Western.
No.
True.
No,
and it would
haven't.
be interesting to see their take on like, this is a Western with a superhero in it. That's what this made me come away thinking like, oh, I would love to see a well-done superhero Western.
Let's see, they had
Yeah.
Kid Colt. That was a
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of other cowboy.
Ghost Rider.
Yeah,
Ghost Rider.
Was a
I could see them pulling something like that off, but I mean that's probably not 10 years down the line. That's probably 20, 25 years down the line where the timeline doesn't matter anymore and they're just like making movies. But I would enjoy that, I think.
Yeah,
that'd be
Getting
fun.
a good Western director to do something. Yeah.
I'm sure they could. Yeah.
So, all right, so that's it. We're putting a pin in Jonah Hex, which brings us to next week's movie. Next week, we will be watching Green Lantern.
Oh, yes.
No, I'm sorry, not Green Lantern. I was in the wrong place. The Green Hornet. I knew it was green. The Green Hornet.
Wow.
Seth Rogen.
Wow.
All right.
I'm ready. I haven't seen this.
I haven't either.
I haven't either.
Yeah. So that'll be fun. So that's it for us this week, everybody. Thank you all for hanging out with us for Harmless Phosphorescence. And I just want to let you know that this has been your host, Throw Smiley, and I always win my imaginary battles against John Malkovich.
I'm Josh Cece, and you see, what I done to you ain't natural.
I'm Brian Lesh, and 1 week from now, the United States will know hell.
I'm Alaric Weber, sheriff of my living room.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Thanks, guys.